Best of 5, of course, £100 a frame. Judd Trump to start. As I say, although he's bottom of the table, it's no great cause for alarm. But it maybe would be if he lost this match. So an important match here for Trump. Made a bad start yesterday. He lost 3-0 to Robertson. Trump then beat Ryan Day 3-1, but in his last match he lost 3-1 to Sean Murphy. Matthew Stevens made a very slow start again, 3-0. He lost his first match to Graham Dott. But he beat Ryan Day 3-1. And then in the last match last night he beat Mark Davis 3-2. After these two matches being played on the two tables now, everyone will have played 4 matches, so the table will be slightly more, I think, reflective of what's been happening and what the various players need to do. Of course, they each play 6 matches. Robertson, although he arrived, he didn't arrive on time, so he's been docked a frame. So Graham Dott already a frame up. The easiest £100 Graham's ever going to win.
1. Judd Trump 1.
So no position from the red, just a safety from Trump. Second day of these groups tends to be a lot more kind of serious than the first, because obviously the end is in sight. You've got to get in the top 4 tonight to get into the playoffs, and therefore a chance to get into the final this evening.
Foul and a miss.
Oh dear, well that's it's not hitting the pink, that's the problem. It's leaving the red on. Don't think he was too impressed with the way the cushion, when it came off the cushion there. Seemed a bit bemused by it.
One. Six. Seven.
Yes, Trump already has contested 2 finals. First one was close against Ricky Walden, 3-2, but Joe Perry beat him 3-0 in less than half an hour in the other one. Trump trying to make things happen here, trying to get the Reds open, and that's not really finished too well. They've kind of got in one another's way and didn't really get into the meat of the pack there. They didn't all scatter, just a few came out. Well, if he's playing the plant, it's a risky one. because they're a long way apart. And the problem is you don't know exactly where they're all going to finish.
Judd trump 12.
Just didn't fancy playing safe, it seems. Well, it's tight, isn't it, past the black? Let's come round to have a look from the pocket. Well, from that angle, it looks like it pots. Yes, no problem. Yeah, risky shot really from Trump, because, as I say, the two reds were quite a distance apart, and crucially, so was the white. It wasn't right behind the first red, so it made the plant that he attempted more difficult. And after a slow start yesterday, Matthew Stevens started to play pretty well towards the end. It was a good match against Mark Davis last night that he won 3-2.
Three. Four. Six.
Well, it wriggled in. I was just thinking before he played that
Seven.
that's missable first thing in the morning. And believe me, 11 o'clock is first thing in the morning to snooker players. Tends to be more of a night sport, really. That's when Matthew got going yesterday. It was in the evening. Well, he's overhit that. So it looks like end of break. Neil Robertson and Graham Dott are finally getting going on table 2. Dott already a frame to the good after Robertson was docked that frame for late arrival. He's foggy out, but to be honest, Neil has got a little bit of previous when it comes to not turning up on time. It's his only weakness, I think. He's off the table. He's not on the table. Graham Dott, I suspect, doesn't care about that. He's the easiest £100 he'll ever earn. So just 10 points in it in this opening frame.
Foul. And a miss.
Looking for a thin contact. It's often the case that first time round players will miss completely rather than hit it too thick. The problem here is he may not have it put back. This looks like Trump's range. Well, he is, so going back, you heard the laughter there on the other table. That was the Robertson-Dott match getting underway. I'm sure a few things have been said to Neil because, as we say, it's not...
Oh, you got it there.
Not the first time.
Yeah? Okay, Judd.
Well, I'm told, in fact, the referee originally said first frame, Neil Robertson to break, and then, of course, realised it was actually the second frame, so corrected himself. Yeah, as I say, it's not the first time it's happened, so there'll be a bit of ribbing later on, I'm sure, back in the players' room. Cracking pot.
One.
Needs the white to held up, which it has done, so chance here for Judd Trump. Yeah, the only winners really in that, with the docking of the frame, Graham Dott, of course, and Clive Everton, because it's, it's one last frame Clive's got to commentate on.
Blue ball.
Well, chance for Trump, and chance he's got to take, you feel, bottom of the table. Not terminal by any means, with just 2 points separating the field, but even so, he would only have 2 more matches to come after this one. And they're all tough games, of course. He's got Graham Dott and Mark Davis, 2 solid players later on, so if he can get himself to 2 points, then feel a lot happier going into those matches.
7.
And if he were to win this match, he would be at least 4th, possibly 3rd in the table, depending on the Dott Robertson game. So obviously he'll be looking a lot better in terms of his position going into his next match.
You will go longer if you need it. Okay. $14. 15. 22. 23.
36 ahead. Blue makes it 41 with 67 on. At 37 ahead now, so 42 it would be. But what it all boils down to is a couple more reds, and it should be 1-0 to Trump.
I will.
Just felt he'd gone a little too far on the blue.
27.
Took the brown instead. Same difference though in terms of what he needs. That was a kick. That doesn't help. He's still on the black, but
28.
it's certainly not as easy as it could have been without the bad contact. We had a few yesterday, particularly on this table, it's got to be said. Pretty cold outside, and weather does have an effect on conditions inside. Oh, it's just held on. I thought that was going to drop, but it's just held on. So there we are. The kick did have a big effect there. He's not over the line yet. 42 in front with 59 on. At least he's blocked the pocket. If the black were to drop in now, by the way, the referee would have to replace it where it is. That's the rule. Wouldn't count on Trump's score. In a snooker club, you would have stamped your foot or banged the table, but it's not kind of frowned upon in the professional game, that sort of behaviour. The key here is to always leave the cue ball over the right-hand side so as not to leave any sort of pot onto the left corner. The black's blocking the pocket here, so can't leave anything to this corner. That was well worked out from Trump.
Foul.
Oh dear.
Judd trump 7.
One thing you can't do is knock the black in. But worse still, the red that knocked it in has stayed close to the pocket. Judd Trump's already 49 in front, so red and a colour, this frame's over. Is he on a colour?
1.
Well, it's not great, is it? Doesn't have to go for one, but if you were to pot, for example, the brown, he'd be 54 in front with 51 on. He may feel he could take the brown to the corner, screw the white back to the cushion for safety.
Green ball.
Putting the green safe, well, that's mature.
Judd trump 1.
But the frame's still anyone's, 50 in it, 51 on. No, that's not a good shot. So the ploy worked for Trump, the safety first approach. If he knocks this red in, it should be 1-0 to him. Could have done with that one, because two snookers to tie, so worth playing on. If that blue had gone in, I'm sure Matthew Stevens would not even think of coming back. So, he just put himself through a little bit of unnecessary anxiety there as Trump. It's still expect him to win this frame, but it's not absolutely guaranteed to. Well, he is now, because he's missed that one, so Matthew's going to concede. Pretty wretched frame from Matthew Stevens all round, really.